What's going on, guys? Gemini here, and with Goodra releasing to be purchasable by coins very soon, I thought I'd make a video on whether or not you should buy it. I'll go over like some builds, what I think of it, my thoughts, my opinions, where it ranks among other defenders, and where it kind of stands in the game right now. Before I get into the video, I'd like to ask you, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like on this video, and hit that notification bell. Really appreciate that. Let's get into the video. Goodra has definitely released into a really tough time in Unite. We've still got that Demon Dogzation still waiting to be nerfed. It's still ridiculously overpowered, and compared to that, every Pokemon's going to look very overpowered on release because it's just it can't keep up with what Zacian's brought to the game. In my opinion, it's a really balanced release, if not a little bit underpowered. I find it's a very team dependent Pokemon. A lot of defenders are obviously team dependent, but this one feels quite team dependent, even more so than a couple of other defenders in the game. It's got some really good sustain with Dragon Pulse. Power Whip has been an amazing addition to the game. I'm absolutely in love with the moves, probably one of my favorite moves in the game, especially just being able to, when an enemy is escaping, you can just pull them back to you, you know, like the whole Scorpion get over here kind of move. I find that really fun. I think it's a great mechanic. It's our first look at the hook mechanic in Unite, and it's fantastic. It helps get squishies. You can pull them out of position. You can get someone who's maybe sitting behind their tank. If they're just behind them, you can pull them to the front a bit if you time it right. Yeah, but overall it's been a very balanced, slightly underpowered release, and I'm okay with it. But I do share the opinion with some other people that I think it's okay for a Pokemon to be slightly OP on release. I'm not talking Zacian levels of OP, and I mean I don't want them to be Comfy levels of underpowered. But I mean, it's okay, I think, if a Pokemon is slightly OP upon release. I don't really have a problem with that. Okay, so the first move that you're going to get is either Muddy Water or Dragon Pulse. Now, I find both of these moves quite good. If you have no supports on your team and you're struggling to have that kind of sustain, Dragon Pulse is definitely a fantastic option. You get that little healing, and it does a fair bit of damage. It's got some good range as well. It's quite nice. If you do have the supports that can heal you, then Muddy Water is 100% the go. It's my preferable move. I really like it. I like the fact that you can really buff up your defense. You can actually fight for a long time. And it does a surprising amount of damage, if I'm honest. Like, I've really felt the damage, and being able to, especially combining that with Power Whip, being able to just kind of hook your enemies towards you, bang, splash them with the Muddy Water, it's a pretty good combination, and I think that's a better move. But then again, also if you have no supporters, you have no sustain, you have no healing, then Dragon Pulse is probably a better option if you're playing solo queue. Goodra's second move does get a little bit late, similar to Dragonite. It gets it at level 8, and you can pick between either Acid Spray or Power Whip. Acid Spray has a short hit, and then you got a bit of a dash if you hit that short hit. Whereas Power Whip has that nice hook mechanic that I was talking about earlier. I personally, I cannot go a game without Power Whip. I just love the move so much. It is so much fun being able to just pull the enemy in and just keep pulling them back. They try to get away, you just keep pulling them back, pulling them towards you, hitting them with the Muddy Water, even just hitting them with the Dragon Pulse. Like, either move is just, it's fun. It is so fun. It is 100%. It is the go. In my opinion, it's one of the most fun moves in the game, and I'm enjoying it so much. But both moves are also pretty good. The whole kit is, as a whole, quite good. But again, like I was saying at the start, it's balanced enough. If not, it's just a bit underpowered. It doesn't feel as strong as it probably should. You can definitely go off with this, but it is very team dependent. And using Power Whip, again, that's a very team dependent move, because you know you're pulling the enemy towards you and towards your team, especially if they're around you. So it's great when you've got a teammate to combo that with. It really helps a lot. In terms of items that you can run with Goodra, I've personally had the most success running a Focus Band, Muscle Band, and the Slick Spoon. The Slick Spoon really is good, you know, obviously reducing the enemy's special defense, because you're a special attacker, your boosted attack is a ranged attack. Focus Band just helps your sustainability, especially when you're running that Muddy Water and you really don't have any kind of form of healing outside of your passive and your Unite move. Muscle Band just helps you get your attacks out a bit quicker, and helping with attack speed, doing a little bit, you know, extra damage and stuff definitely helps as well. But yeah, for me personally, I found the most success running these items. I've tried a few other items. I've tried stacking special attack specs and tried a couple other options, but I've had the most success definitely running these 3 items. You're welcome to experiment with it. Again, it is a very team dependent Pokemon, so depending on my team for each match, some items that might have been better felt a lot worse. So your mileage may vary on these, but I've played a fair few games and I've found that these items were just really working for me personally. Okay, so overall, where do I rank Goodra among our current defenders in the game? In my honest opinion, I think Slowbro is still probably a top tier defender, probably the best defender in the game. Along with Trevenant, its buffs have been spectacular. Those two are definitely my S tier, A plus tier defenders. You got Blastoise, I still think is also better than Goodra. I definitely put that at least the A tier, I reckon. I reckon that just stays there. Mamoswine has fallen off a bit, maybe an A minus or a B plus kind of tier defender, and that's pretty much where I put Goodra right now. I put it in that. I struggle to put it in an A. I think it's definitely it's a B plus kind of tier Pokemon. I think it's really good. I think it is better than Snorlax, Crustle, and probably Greedent. Those are 3 defenders, so it's probably a mid tier defender, and that feels about right. That feels about where Goodra's at. It's kind of a mid-release. Like I said, it's not overpowered. It's relatively balanced. It's a little bit undertuned. I think some of its kit needs a small buff. Just a tiny buff, and it would probably feel a lot better. Also, though, I mean, if Station gets nerfed, then that would probably help every single Pokemon in the meta. But yeah, right now, pretty much where I think it's at is you've got Goodra right in the middle. You've probably got a lot of the other defenders already, maybe not Trevenant. I know you get Slowbro for free and stuff like that, so should you buy Goodra? Maybe. If you really love defenders, if you're a defender main, if Goodra's your favorite Pokemon, go ahead, buy it, definitely. But I really do think for how much it's probably going to cost to buy it with coins, I think there are a few other defenders that you're going to have a lot more success with when you're trying to climb the ranks, and you'll just have better games, and you're a little bit less team dependent with people like Slowbro and Trevenant. You can do a bit more. So just summarize everything basically. Goodra is not an overpowered release, but it's also not an underpowered release. It's slightly undertuned, it's relatively balanced. If you are a defender main, if you love your Goodras, if you love your tanky boys, then I recommend definitely buying it, especially if you have the spare coins, buy it. If you are tight on coins, maybe hold off on it, maybe wait till the next patch. We'll see some decent nerfs definitely have to be coming. I cannot fathom. They've released a questionnaire recently, so there has to be some outcry from the community. And along with that, we probably see some Goodra buffs, hopefully. There'll probably be some other changes, so if you are tight on coins, a lot of Pokemon you want to buy, then there might be some significant changes coming in the next patch, and that might, sway another Pokemon into your favor. And yeah, so if you have the spare coins, you can go ahead and buy it. If you love it, buy it. If you are struggling, I can't say that I recommend this Pokemon is a must buy. It's very, very mid tier at the moment, until we get a buff at least. Anyways, if you made this far in the video, I really appreciate it. Drop a like, drop a comment, let me know what other content you want to see. And yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye!